Hey, hi, ho, and howdy, everybody. My name is Shannon L. Shook, and welcome to episode number 25. I'm pretty sure it's like 25 of Katawa Shoujo. That's a lot. That's a decent amount. That's a little over half. We made it through fucking Soul Silver. That's crazy. That's so crazy. But I love it. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm actually not, because I actually had to go look it up to check. We are very close to the end of this, actually. We don't have too much farther to go. I suspect in a couple more episodes, we'll be done with this. Which both breaks my heart and makes me happy, because that means new things on the horizon. Oh, God, I can't sing. I can't sing when I'm not sick. When I'm actually sick, it's so much worse. Yeah, so I'm sick. I mentioned it in the description of the Resident Evil video that probably no one's ever gonna watch, but in there I do say that yeah, no, the reason we haven't had any videos really come out, there's been one or two here. I've been really sick. It started off as like, well, this kind of sucks, and then it went to the next day and it was like, this really sucks, and then it went to, hey, holy shit, I'm great, and then it went to, I'm dying the next day. And now it's today, and I'm like, honestly feel pretty fucking good. I'm not gonna lie. It could be worse. Could be bad. Could be good. We're about to find out. So yeah, no, we're gonna just go through this and try not to die. Hopefully my voice doesn't sound horrible, because I'm sick. And, if it does, well, fuck you for being so goddamn judgmental. Okay, also, just in case, I'm gonna turn that fan off, because I suspect that's gonna be louder than I think it is. Because I checked the audio, but I wasn't paying attention to that. The library, while not humming with activity, is noticeably more busy than usual. Exams are not far away, and that's reflected in the number of students burying their noses in textbooks and the tables around us. I should be able to make it through this dialogue okay. The problem is gonna be is that if I cough like once, we're fucked. That's about to get gross real goddamn quick. You can hear the dislodgings of all kinds of shit you'd never wanted to hear. So, I'm dying over here. Also, fun fact about Shannon. That's awkward as shit. But you might want to know if I ever engage in oral activity. Fucking Christ. I have a really bad gag reflex. Like, I will just cough myself into vomiting. It's not great. I don't like it. I don't approve. And neither did all those people I went down. Okay, are we okay? Fuck. I immediately said I shouldn't cough and I started coughing. Fuck, I can't laugh. We're probably fucked then. I've been studying quite a lot in the past few days, just like them, in hope of doing well in the exams. This also means that Hanako and I have been playing games less, so she's been studying as well, just to fill in the time. Nevertheless, I found myself forsaken by her on this particular day. The textbook in front of me has remained on the same page for some time. After so much reading on subjects I couldn't care about less if not for the exams, my mind is beginning to wander. I find my eyes flicking over to where Hanako would usually be, just like on the days when she wasn't in class. Her usual beanbag in the corner of the room is conspicuously unoccupied. Conspicuously. I love words like that, except for the fact that when I try and say them, it never works. It was here that we first really met. It was here? Fuck. I tried to start a conversation with her, she got skittish, and eventually bolted out from the room altogether. I probably shouldn't smile about it, but it was kind of amusing in hindsight. Nowadays, it's more and more difficult to imagine her doing such a thing. Even with Lily gone, she's been doing well now that she's come out of her room. I want to talk with her, or at least play another game of chess. I'm tired of studying, and it's been a few days since we've really done anything together. The question of where to find Hanako isn't a particularly difficult one. It's a particularly... Goddamn, I'm worse. If she's not in the library, chances are that she's either in the tea room for some peace and quiet, or in her dormitory room. Deciding to check them in that order, I pack up my books and make my way to the library. I stretch and give a loud groan as I walk down the hallway. Studying may be frustrating at times, but with the progress I felt I've made, there's also some sense of pride in getting it done. It's a good feeling. There isn't a sound to be heard from inside as I stand in front of the door to Hanako's room. I guess it isn't very indicative of whether or not she's inside, given how quiet she usually is. Still, she wasn't in the tea room. I try knocking lightly to make my presence known, but I'm surprised when I find the door unlocked and yielding at my touch. Yielding at my touch, your door swings wide open, your heart's right there on the bed. I'm sorry. That I don't even know what the fuck that means, but goddamn. Alright. Also, I'd like to point out to you that even through sick, that first, little bit of, the singing about the door part, that shit wasn't bad. And if you say that it was, you're probably right, but I'm gonna just lie and say that it was good. Okay. With a small creak, the door opens. It looks like my suspicions were correct. Hanako is indeed here. She's sitting at the table with an open book in front of her, but pays it no heed as she keeps looking out the window. She's utterly oblivious to my presence. What the fucking fuck? Just like a little speck of dust just flew by my face, and it was so goddamn noticeable because it was the only one I've ever seen here. What the fuck? Demons! Okay, with her head thoughtfully resting on her hand, she looks calm and collected. It's a shame she can't look like this more often. Smiling a little, I walk up to the table and softly speak to her. Good evening, Hanako. Hanako's head turns a little to see me, but she's still only half there. I put a hand on the table and lower my head to get a better look at her face, mildly curious about what mood she's in. What's up? She gasps a little, finally acknowledging my presence in the room for the first time. Hanako's blushing really heavily. Her mouth is open just a little as if paused in mid-sentence. Most striking, though, is what she's doing. She's looking directly at me. Her eyes are pinned on my own, from such a close distance that I can almost see my reflection in them. They don't turn away nor move at all. They're absolutely still, just looking into mine. They're dark and give her an almost analytical air. Goddamn alliteration. Even when reading on subjects she has no interest in, she would appear to be wrapped in her work to a casual observer. She absorbs information very well, and even now I can feel that. I feel like I'm seeing something behind those eyes that I never saw before. I don't know what it is, though. It's adorable. She's just so... Hanako? Her lips move just a little, silently mouthing something. She looks like she's on the verge of saying something, but just won't say it. That's kind of the way Hanako always is, on the verge of saying something, but never quite doing it. As I look intently into her eyes, I realize something. Everyone has their own thoughts, things they want to say, their own worldview, but I can't work out what Hanako wants to say, and I can't work out what she's thinking. I've never been able to. It's frustrating. It feels like I don't know her at all, despite all the time we've spent together. So? It's only now that I find myself blushing. I've been looking directly into Hanako's eyes from such a short distance with absolutely no regard for her, and she's been looking into mine without shirking away. I quickly look away while covering my face with my hand, and Hanako does just the same. You are like little kids, and it's kind of adorable. Another awkward sounds. That's one of the always interesting things, is when just like full-on adults. And I mean, they're still in like high school, so they're what? They're 18. Actually, I know for a fact they're 18. But they're like 18. They're you could classify them as an adult, at least from an age alone standpoint. You're like fucking little children. Not like actually. Okay, God. But you understand what I was trying to say. Moving on. It's adorable. I'm sorry. It is. Another awkward silence reigns. I hate these. At first I accepted them as just being a fact of life around Hanako, but now all they feel like is an affirmation of how little we're able to communicate. Some anger makes its way into the complex mixture of emotions I'm experiencing right now. I want to bridge the gap between us. Friends shouldn't have to tiptoe around each other like this. I speak before I can argue myself out of what I'm going to do. My scarring isn't as bad as Hanako's, but I can't, and I can't possibly compare my life to hers. But I want to show her that she's not alone. Doing this in such a blunt manner might be the only way to get my point across. Yeah, you probably, do this easier, my man. Hanako, I want to show you something. I take a deep breath to prepare myself. This could backfire very badly, but I feel as if I've come close enough for this to be okay. Or we've come close enough. I'm not gonna, strip naked or anything weird. I'm just gonna take off my shirt. Say what? Hanako's eyes grow to the size of saucers. Her face is an amusing mixture of curiosity and nervousness as she stands. It helps take the edge off my own nervousness at doing this in front of another person. Slowly, with my entire body feeling tense, I unknot my tie and begin to loose the first of the buttons. Damn. I'm trying to mentally block out Hanako to make this easier, but it's not really working. Yeah, and I suspect that's just all the way awkward all the time. As I work my way down, I expect to hear some sort of protest from her, but she remains silent, which just makes this feel even stranger. With the last of my shirt unbuttoned, I take a deep breath and look at her. Hanako's gaze is fixed on my scarring. As expected, once I nod to say it's okay, she steps forward and tentatively places her hand on the vertical line running down my chest. The scarring on her hand, a pattern of damaged skin across its surface, contrasts with the single uniform line that makes up mine. Her hand isn't trembling at all, unlike what I predicted. It's the scar from my surgery that followed my heart attack. The surgeons had to cut open my chest, stop right on my heart. I never knew. Hanako's words are calmer and softer than usual. The soft feeling of her fingers moving from my scar to my breast makes me hesitate a little before continuing on. You're the first person to see this since I left the hospital. But why are you showing this to me? I wanted to prove to myself that I could do this, that I could accept my past and move on. I wanted to show that to you as well. She nods. From her reaction, she seems to know how difficult this is for me. More than anything, the scar represents a visible reminder of my condition, a reminder that I'm not normal anymore. There's something that, until now, I've tried my hardest to ignore. As the minutes tick by, Hanako's gaze lingers. Her eyes look less focused on my scarring than before. The situation feels a bit different than it previously did, and it makes me feel slightly uncomfortable. Her hand retreats, and I draw my shirt closed and begin to button it up. Her blushing face suddenly returns to its typical sense and timid state as she looks away. The room is completely silent as I fix my shirt and tie, feeling put off after such an unexpectedly intimate moment. So, I guess you're not the only one that's scarred. Hanako smiles a little at the joke, thankfully lightening the atmosphere a bit. Thank you, Hisao. I think I understand. I give a long sigh of relief. I didn't really know how she'd take it, but I'm glad everything seems to have worked out as I hoped. Hanako's smile only proves that further. Tea, help me. I'm finding the path I want to follow now, and what Hanako needs to do is find her own. It's something I can't help her with, and it's something she needs to overcome her past in order to do. Hanako checks her watch. It's getting pretty late by now. Hisao, yeah, I'd better be going. Be thankful for some sleep. It's been a long day after all. Good night, Hanako. Good night. I make my way out of her room and into the hallway, remaining silent as I do so. I think both of us have gone through quite a few emotions today. Showing my chest to some ladies and being like we're so different and something. Right. The heat of the summertime sun beats down on my sweating brow. Dabbing with a handkerchief doesn't seem to help too much in making me any more comfortable. Giving up on the idea of getting more done today, I stop and lean against one of the overpass fences, resting my bag on the ground. The stores in the town below Yamaku are well stocked and offer enough variety for me to get by, but at least the occasional shopping trip to the city is something that really can't be avoided. I've been here a few times now. The city's layout is getting more familiar, and the nostalgia from its atmosphere is beginning to wear off. I realize that I've begun to wheeze. I sound like an old man that's overexerted himself, and having to connect to the fact that I'm the source is a bit disturbing. Boy, I know. My heart is more or less fine. My lungs are beyond up, just fucked, so I know all about that, my man. I can be sitting around doing nothing, and I'll just be like... That's not attractive in a man, but do you know what? Fuck it. I'm a real one. I wear that shit on my sleeves like it's something to be proud of. Okay, maybe not so much. Maybe I'm out of shape and my lungs are fucked up. It's not a good combination. That's all I'm gonna say. I know your pain, my man. Not the heart attack part, but everything else. I put a hand on my chest and concentrate for a bit to make sure I haven't gone too far. I haven't gone far enough to cause any further problems. Thankfully, my heart is acting normally. There's no dull pain and the beating is regular, albeit fast-paced as I recover from overdoing things in this kind of heat. I hate my body. It's frustrating to be held back, even more to be held back by the fear of my life being ended, when doing something as simple as walking around the city for a while. As I ponder on my health, I feel my pocket vibrating. By the time my phone's begun to ring, my hand is already fishing for it. A glance at the screen shows a caller number that I don't recognize. Recognize. Bitch boy, you best recognize. Strange. Shrugging, I pressed the button to answer the call and bring the phone to my ear. Hello, Hanako speaking. I like the sound of your voice. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The sound of a couple short breaths can be heard, but no actual speech is forthcoming. Hello? It's out. I'm sorry. I was breathing really deep and heavy there for a second. It was... Moving on. Okay. It's Hanako. Her voice is really easy to place, even if it's heard over a phone. If it's never been heard over a phone before. Hanako? Sorry, I wasn't expecting you to call. What's up? If you're not too busy, I was wondering if you would... I'd like to... meet up? Yes, I mean... She sounds really wound up about this. I can hear the muffled voices in the background, and it's about time for afternoon tea, so I guess you want me to meet her at the Shanghai or something. That sounds fine. Are you at the Shanghai? I'm in the city. Hanako's here? Alone? That's kind of a surprise. It's a little wonder she's like this. If she's surrounded by people and entirely by herself. That works out well. I'm just wandering around there now. Where are you? Hanako manages to stammer out the street name, address, and some basic directions to where she is. Luckily, it's not too far, so I agree to see her soon before hanging up. I look up to the sky. The summer heat is beating down. This is the first time Hanako asked us to do something together beyond a simple board game, and for the first time, at least since I've known her, that she's come to the city by herself. Maybe this means that Lily was right. Dang right she was right. You trust her, my man. She is a smarty person. By the time I manage to stagger up to the cafe where Hanako is, I've started to wheeze again. I'm sweating so much that I feel like a melting popsicle. I can barely hold the bag in my hand. I don't even know why I went I was about to fucking finish the sentence if I had just tried hard enough. I need to sit down. Badly. The tables outside are all... Jesus, Shannon. Just spit everywhere. The tables outside are all occupied by busily chatting couples and girls gossiping between themselves. The contrast between the different age groups and fashions of the people here and the people from the town near Yamaku is striking. I scan over the people sitting at the tables, but I can't see Hanako. She did say she was sitting outside, so I must just be missing her. Not difficult, considering how small she usually tries to make her presence. I look around again, more slowly this time, taking particular care to see if I can find Hanako's hat. It's pretty distinctive, and I'd be surprised if she wasn't wearing it. You might notice a little cut there. Turns out, I had to blow my goddamn nose. It was all bad right there. I wasn't breathing right, my man. It was all bad. Anyway, here we're back. There she is. Sure enough, her head is kept low and the table she's sitting at is right beside the building in an inconspicuous corner. I walk up to where she is to make sure I have her attention before I sit, lest I give her a scare. She notices me and gives a small wave as I arrive at her table. Are you feeling okay? I try my best to laugh it off, but doing so just makes me more out of breath. Not very fit these days. Don't mind me. Hanako nods, but still looks a little put off. Now that I can get a good look at her face, something about her seems a bit different. I'm not sure if my eyes are playing tricks on me, but she looks kind of nice. You trying to tell me she doesn't look that way other times, you silly goose? Her eyes move upwards to look at me before quickly flicking down again. I begin to think this is going to be a rather quiet meeting. But a waitress thankfully arrives and sits down a cup of tea in front of Hanako. Don't mind if I do. Hanako almost automatically turns slightly away and lowers the side of her head. It's an amazingly practiced motion, and she does a good job of its intended purpose, hiding her scars from someone who's leaning in close. Her right arm is still laying on the table, though, with the scarring on the back of her hand quite visible. It catches the waitress's eye, and I quickly move to distract her. Excuse me, may I place an order? The waitress nods and gives me a couple of seconds to look at the menu. Could I have a mango smoothie, please? Oh, that sounds fucking delicious! Mangoes are amazing. And smoothies, they're pretty good. She gives me a nod before almost enthusiastically bouncing inside. Everything is so different in the city, in more ways than one. Hanako looks back up towards me and adjusts her hat a little. If she noticed the waitress staring at her scars, she doesn't show it. Not coffee? I think I'd die from this heat if I had something like coffee right now. That's why you get iced coffee, my man. Resting my head in my hand, I look to my quiet companion. She seems taken aback. A very unexpected reaction to my lame joke. An unwelcome emotion bubbles up inside me, and I realize her reason why. Unlike most in Yamaku, indeed unlike anyone there that I'm aware of, my condition goes beyond limiting the activities I can do. Or be more precise, breaching those limits could have more grave consequences. You're the guy who's gonna die if you fuck up. And she's scared about that. Because she likes your face, and she doesn't want it to die. And the heart and everything else that comes with you, my man. Thankfully, it's something that's rarely come up since I entered Yamaku. I thought that it was so rare that Hanako and Lily might not think of it at all. It turns out that I was wrong. Hanako silently drinks her tea while I wait for my drink, confirming that that's the right temperature with a small sip before she begins in earnest. I feel guilty for being... Did I just double skip something? I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. I feel guilty for being the cause of an uncomfortable silence, since in the past I've been kind of hard on Hanako for those. Eventually, the same waitress as before bounces up, handing me my drink. Fuck. I gather change from my pocket and drop it off into her waiting hand, before she goes off to attend to another customer. My eyes linger on her as she walks away. Do you think she looks pretty? Hanako's following my gaze, her eyes talking to the waitress that served us. Taking in the waitress. Yes, my eyes are talking to you, madam. Thank you. I can feel my blood slowly glowing to my... Fuck. I just fucked that all the way up. Alright. We can do this. I believe in the power of the me that believes in the you that believes in the me that believes in Hanako that believes in the you that believes in me. That's what we're gonna go with. I don't know, that's all bad. My blood slowly going to my cheeks as I rest my smoothie back on the table. Nah, can't really say that I'm into that look. She just looked a lot like an old friend that I knew before my heart attack. Did you have many friends? I had a few at my previous school, though I wouldn't say a lot. The four of us just kind of hung around together after school and stuff. Do you still talk to them? I shake my head. No, we kind of gradually lost contact while I was stuck in the hospital. You're not saddened by that, or angry? Hanako looks genuinely surprised. I guess it's the right reaction. Well, life did move on for them while I was stuck in the ward. I was pretty sore about it at the time, but it was just a bunch of nice memories. Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, it sucks. I've spent so much of my time in my life moving around from towns to towns. I've lost so many fucking friends, and it hurts like a fucking railroad spike to the heart every time. Because there's at least, it's like, no matter where you are, there's always going to be at least one or two people who you just kind of get along with. Even if they're not like, we're best friends forever. Like, you have companionship with them, man. You either find a friend, maybe you find someone you even go so far as to say you like, in, oh, I like you kind of way. Again, adults acting like fucking children is what you get when you're at this fucking channel. But it's one of those things where it hurts a lot, but at least eventually you can kind of get over it, and then you just kind of look back on it as good memories. There's still a lot of people I go back and like. I fucking despise Facebook. I used to like it all the time. It's just, it irritates the shit out of me more and more as time goes on, because there's never anything useful or important on that fucking shit. It's all bad memories and shit I couldn't care less about. But every once in a while I'm like, you know what? What would it be like to go look up some of my old friends? Hey, what's, and then I can never find them. Or if I do find them, I realized they wouldn't want to fucking do anything with me. They couldn't give less of a fuck that I even existed in the first place. It's depressing. But there's memories that I do have. Them's is good. Moving on. Besides, once I came to Yamaku, I found new friends as well. So, you know, that's cool. Yes, it's you. Again, you get new friends every time. Hopefully that helps balance out the suck. That's quite a whitewash of what my feelings were back then. I went through some dark times during my stay at the hospital, and I'm really glad that Hanako and Lily were around to help me after I left. Hanako blushes as we both get down to enjoying our drinks. Get down, get down, okay. She seems to have calmed down since I arrived. And keep making these little tangents, and it's fucking with me, and the smart thing to do would not be to do that. But I'm also not a smart man, so, you know. And I've started to feel a little better now that I've had a chance to rest a bit, so this is getting to be a nice outing already. Even if she's calmer than before, though, she's still fidgeting a bit. She runs her hand down one of her bangs as I try to think of something to say. Adjust the back chair situation. Alright. Oh, this is actually so much better. Maybe a little bit. I don't know. Also, I'm gonna take one more tangent. I'm sorry. I do this all the time. But this is a personal thing for me, and this is a question I have for other people who are into people. Does anyone else kind of have a thing for, like, women with bangs that come, like, over, like, half the face? Like, kind of like what Hanako's got. It's not quite the same thing, but, like, there's a lot of different hairstyles that have that kind of thing where a decent amount of the bang, like, goes over, like, one eye or something like that, or, like, it's part of... I like that shit a lot. I don't know why. It's just like, I think it's mysterious. I think that's what it is. It's the mystery. It's what is behind those, what's behind those eyes? What lies do you tell me in your eyes? Sorry. But like, I don't know. I just think it's cool. I'm into it. I'm not saying I got anything against any other hairstyles. I'm just saying I like this. Mysterious. Moving on. That's right. I was gonna ask. Hanako tilts her head quizzically. I didn't know you had a mobile phone. How'd you get my number? I don't know you had that. Lily gave it to me. I should have guessed. Should have known she'd just give away my phone number. You know, you could have just asked. I'd have given it to you. You wanna know why? Because X gonna give it to you. You're gonna give it... Sorry. Want to exchange email addresses? Hanako nods, setting down her drink and fishing out her phone from her pocket as I do the same. Now, this is a thing. I've done it again. I'm sorry. But this is another thing. How often do people do this? Like, here, have my email address. Because to me, a phone number seems so much more intimate than a fucking email address does. Like, yes, what can you do with an email address that you can like send some files maybe to like bigger files. I'm a voice actor, so that's how most of my shit gets done is through email. But just like for friends, that seems cause email just seems so fucking counterproductive. It seems so much more like it takes more time. It takes more effort. It just seems more unnecessary to me. It seems like phone, DMs of some kind that one could slip into. It seems like far simpler ways of doing things. I don't know, but that's just me. That's just me. That's just me. I can't say why I'm like this. I'm sing-songy today. It's the first time I've been able to actually fucking do shit with my voice in quite a while, so I'm just abusing the shit out of it. Hanako nods, setting down her drink, getting up. We just did this. That's a nice phone. Well, I like flip phones. I like flip phones. I'm sorry. That was what I was trying to say. It's surprisingly the same model as mine. Pink though. That's a nice shade of pink. Nice phone. She looks at me with a curious expression before noticing my phone and giggling. It's one of the few times I've seen Hanako let her guard down enough to do such a thing. That's adorable. I didn't pick it out myself, though. Oh? It was a present from Lily. I never really needed a phone, and I couldn't afford one. She bought me one for Christmas, though, saying that we could use it to keep in touch. They see each other basically every day anyway, both in and out of school. Then again, Lily does have her class representative duties and her other friends that she talks with, and probably help for situations like this too, when she's gone away for a while. Lily's a really special person to you, isn't she? She is. I love her very much. Hanako looks down and smiles as she thinks of her. None of my friendships were as deep as theirs, and I have to admit to myself that I'm a little jealous of their relationship. We tell each other our email addresses and thumb them into our respective phones. Well, see, you know what you gotta do, my man? You gotta buy her a phone. That is the ticket to friendships. You just buy people a bunch of shit, and I've played Stardew Valley. Just give people shit, and then they will fall in love with you. It's simple. It's a surefire way of doing things. Anything else is just wrong. And I get Hanako's number from earlier and put it in my contacts list. Done. That makes 3 now. 3? Lily, Akira, and you. Oh, Akira. She's an interesting person, isn't she? She is. She's also really nice, though. Her suit makes her look a bit cool. I'm a little surprised that you know each other well. What with her job taking up so much of her time. Hanako looks down a little and takes another sip of her drink. If I wasn't looking intently at her face, I'd miss the small smile perched on it. I guess when she knows so few people, those she knows must mean a lot to her. How many do you have? Me? About 9 or 10. I never had that many contacts on my phone. I think it comes back to that, like, I had, like, 2 or 3 people I hung around with at a time. And then, like, of course, like, close family. And then slightly extended family that I never talked to because phones is bullshit. I hesitate to go into them for fear of rubbing in the fact that Hanako doesn't have parents or apparently even close relatives. 2 of those are Shizune and Misha, too, which is another can of worms altogether. I imagine that Lily would have more than both of us put together, probably. Hanako gives a childish giggle, and I can't help smiling. It's a good feeling that she's gotten this comfortable around me. At times like this, I feel like I'm getting close to talking to her true self. Do you mind if I ask you something that I've been wondering? Hanako shakes her head as she takes this last sip for tea, finishing it off. She got through hers much faster than I did. I was going really slow, now I look like a fool. You don't seem to be very chill. Fuck. You don't seem to be very jealous of Lily having a lot of friends. Don't you want to make some more friends yourself, or get to know some of hers? I'm not jealous. I don't like people, so I don't mind having many friends. The phrase, I don't like people, is pretty great. That's really not the answer I was expecting. She doesn't look fearful or sad as she says this, but rather quite serious. Hanako rubs her arm awkwardly, having taken my quietness as the reason to continue. I'm not really sure what I should say, so I end up simply giving her my attention in silence. In middle school, I got bullied a lot. I was called names and got excluded from work groups and sports teams. There were worse things too. Fucking kids, man. I hate kids. I mean, like, I love kids, but I fucking hate them. They're fucking assholes. I know because I was a kid, and I was a fucking cunt. You know, I'm sorry, but fucking kids are assholes all the time. And god damn it. Why? What is the mindset you have to be a dick all the time? Fucking kids. And that's what made you not like other people? She shakes her head. That was elementary school. Also, there's another we all the diversions, but this actually reminds me. I was having this conversation with somebody who is not from the land of the burgers and fries. Burgers and fries aren't even really American things. We just steal everything and call it American food. Because we're just like, hey, that's some shit, I want it. Give it to me. This is American now. What the fuck you gonna do about it? And they'll be like, we're just gonna fucking fine, we didn't want it anyway. Like, get damn right you didn't. America, bitch. America. Fuck yeah. But my point is, I was talking to other people. Someone fucking school systems. And does Japan have a similar system as America does? Or is it just because this was written by Americans? Because I know this wasn't written by actual Japanese people. It was just written by people who really liked fucking that kind of thing, you know? Who liked that and then made shit based off of it and fucking grew out of it and it was cool. Well, at least I don't think... maybe one or two of them were. But the point is... The point I'm trying to make to your face is would this school, the middle school thing, is that because it was written by not Japanese people? Or is it in Japan that they have a similar system? Because other systems I am aware of and have been brought to my attention as of like a day or two ago is not quite the same. Moving on. I feel bad for bringing this up now. Adults have enough problems to dealing with Hanako's scarring. Children would be all the rest. Yeah, children are dicks. I had assumed that the way she tried to make her presence not felt was just to avoid people staring at her and because she was afraid of them. Certainly not because she genuinely didn't want to interact with them in the first place. I noticed the condensation from my neglected smoothie forming a little puddle around the bottom of the cup, so I take the opportunity to finish it off. As I drink, she begins to fiddle with her phone. It looks like she's remembered the people around her again begun to tense up. It isn't exactly a cheap phone. I had to save up for quite a while to afford one when I got mine. If Lily went to a private school, she probably wouldn't have too much trouble getting one for a present, though. Yeah, some tells me Lily's got the muns. Watching her fiddle with it... Oh, she's just watching her fiddle with it gives me an idea. Oh, don't you know? Hey, Hanako, wait for me. I'll be right back. I put the now empty cup down, slip my phone into my pocket, and begin to move off, carefully stepping around the bag I'd placed beside my feet. Thankfully, sitting around while talking to Hanako has helped me feel a lot better than before. Wait, where are you going? Just stay here. I'll be back in a bit. As much as I would have liked to have jogged back, I know full well that I couldn't. I end up walking back to the cafe, a little blue bag in my right hand. Hanako notices me quickly, looking about as confused as I did when she did when I left. I deposit the diminutive bag in front of her and sit back down.
is this?
It's for you. You can open it.
But...
Come on. She looks very unsure about it, but eventually gives in, slowly opens the bag and picks its contents out. That's freaking adorable. A silver chain phone strap dangles from her fingers, ending in a delicate flower. It isn't exactly a masterwork of jewelry, but it's about as much as I could afford. Hanako's eyes light up when she looks at it. It's the kind of reaction I was hoping for. The summer sun's light glints off the silver as it twists to and fro a little. It's not too ostentatious and still looks a little charming. I think it suits her pretty well. What have I just done? Alright. Fucking clicked out the goddamn window. Hanako lowers the phone strap to the table and looks to me once more.
But it's not Christmas or my birthday.
It's fine, don't worry about it. I just thought it'd be nice to have something to decorate your phone with.
I don't have anything to give you.
I told you, it's fine. Friends can give each other things like this sometimes, right?
Friends.
Hanako lowers her face so much that I can't see her expression. She eventually nods before taking the phone and fiddling with the strap to attach it properly. Fabularious? Is that like Sagittarius and Fabia? She looks at me and smiles as she holds up the phone, now adorned with a little flower.
Thank you, Asao.
Her smile proves infectious. Out of the corner of my eye, I notice a couple getting up and leaving. That reminds me that the bus back to town below Yamaka will be coming soon. I guess I'd better be going if I want to catch the next bus into town. You coming as well?
Yes.
She hastily nods before carefully putting her phone back into her pocket and getting out of her chair. I do the same and pick up the bag I had left beside me on the way out. We walk side by side as we make our way to the bus station, exchanging no words between us. Hanako's gaze is firmly locked ahead of her, though she looks very happy with herself. I'm not sure what I should say to her, and I'm also not sure that I need to say anything. The fact that Hanako's happy, and happy because of me, is enough to make the load on my arm feel light as a feather. Right? There is something so fucking nice about making someone else happy. Like, again, like I was just saying a second ago, I was a horrible person as a kid. I've done everything in my power to not be the same person as I was when I was a kid. And for me, it's just... There's something so fucking great about making other people happy. It's why I like doing this. It probably doesn't... You, Steve, that's your name, probably, right? What the fuck's your name? I don't know. Anyway, point is, you there, person, friends and fam. The family better not be watching this shit. My mother would have... my mother probably wouldn't give a fuck. Grandmother, have a goddamn heart attack. I ain't got time for that. At all. But, like, that's why I do this. I like making people happy, because making other people happy is the fucking easiest way to make yourself happy. Or at least for me. It's just the way my fucking weird-ass brain is wired, but there's something extremely enjoyable about putting a smile on someone's face. I hope I can do that for you. If I don't, if it puts, like, a scowl of pure anger and rage, that's kind of entertaining to me, too. But... You get my point. Oh, we just did this. Oh, that's the end. Fuck. Bye. Shit. It's just a lot of fucking effort. English? Eat a dick. I don't, like, fuck you. I'm a writer, but I couldn't give less of a fuck about how... Ooh, this is not grammatically accurate. You do not know the 17 steps of writing and crafting a perfect story. And, this is the symbolism in this. Fuck you. I don't care. I don't give a shit. Yielding at my touch, your door swings wide open. Your heart's right there on the bed. I'm sorry.